Welcome back to the Before AGI podcast. We're diving into something pretty mind-bending today
Oh, yeah.
with Google DeepMind's Genie 2.
This is a good one.
This is a really good one.
Yeah.
So imagine like giving an AI a single image,
Okay.
and it builds an entire 3D world that you could actually play in.
Wow.
That's Genie 2.
And it's not just building a world like from,
Legos or something.
like Lego bricks. Yeah, it's learned the fundamental rules.
Oh, wow.
So we're talking physics, like gravity, how objects interact, even character animation.
Okay.
It's a foundation world model, meaning it understands the core principles of how these environments work.
So like instead of hand coding
Yeah.
a training scenario for an AI,
Right.
you could just feed Genie 2 a picture and say, go nuts, build me a world based on this.
That's exactly what Google did.
Really?
They used Genie 2 in conjunction with their Sima AI agent to put these generated environments to the test.
Okay, so we've got AI building worlds and AI agents learning within those worlds.
Yeah.
It feels like a big jump.
It is.
Right. Didn't Genie 1, its predecessor,
Yeah, it did.
just do 2D stuff?
Right. Genie 1 was impressive in its own right,
Sure.
creating those 2D platformer-style worlds.
Right.
But Genie 2 utilizes something called an autoregressive latent diffusion model.
Whoa.
It's a mouthful.
Yeah.
But what it means is that Genie 2 has learned from a huge data set of videos, learning how to predict what comes next in a scene.
So if I'm getting this right,
You are.
it's not just copying what it's seen before.
Right.
It's actually learning the rules of the world
Yeah.
and using those to generate something new. Kind of like how a language model
Exactly.
predicts the next word in a sentence.
Exactly. It's using a transformer architecture similar to what powers large language models.
Wow.
But for video generation,
Okay.
this lets it generate consistent worlds for up to a minute,
Oh, wow.
which is pretty remarkable.
A minute. That's a decent chunk of time.
Yeah.
But it makes me wonder, how does that compare
Yeah.
to traditional game engines?
Right.
They have a kind of persistent memory
Yes.
where the world exists even when you're not looking at it.
That's a key difference.
Okay.
Genie 2 is generating the content as you go.
Ah.
It remembers what it's created, but only up to a point.
Oh.
So after a while, there's a possibility for inconsistencies
Okay.
because it's not storing a static, complete picture of the world.
So it's like the AI is improvising the world in real time
Right.
based on your actions, constantly adapting to what you're doing?
That's right.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
But does that also mean
it does.
there are limitations to what it can do?
There are, and the memory horizon, as we call it, is a
Ah.
significant one. It highlights the challenges of creating truly persistent and consistent worlds
All right.
with AI.
Okay.
But that doesn't diminish the incredible advancements Genie 2 represent. Yeah, it really highlights the difference in approach, between something like Genie 2 and a traditional game engine.
Boy.
They both create virtual worlds,
Yeah.
but in fundamentally different ways.
Okay, so for like someone who might not be familiar
Right.
with game engines, what's the core difference?
Think about popular game engines,
Okay.
like Unreal Engine,
Yeah.
or Unity developers use them, like a set of Legos, building their worlds from pre-designed rules and assets.
Right.
It's a very controlled process.
So in those engines, every tree, every building, every character
Right.
is something that developers
Yes.
specifically placed.
Exactly.
Right.
Programmed. But with Genie 2,
Okay.
it's more like giving the AI a starting point,
Uh-huh.
that prompt image,
Right.
and then it's improvising the rest.
Oh, wow.
Like a jazz musician riffing on a theme.
That's a really cool way to think about it.
Yeah.
So in a traditional game,
Yeah.
even if you have choices, the world itself is kind of fixed.
Yes.
But with Genie 2, the world is in constant flux,
Exactly.
being generated and regenerated based on what you do.
That's why this memory horizon is so important.
Yeah.
Traditional game engines remember everything.
Right, because it's all already there.
Because the world is essentially pre-built.
Yeah.
But Genie 2 is making it up as it goes.
Right.
So it can only hold on to so much information at once.
So as you explore further,
Right.
those earlier parts of the world you've already seen might change
Yeah.
or become less detailed.
That's a possibility.
Okay.
It's one of the big hurdles, in creating AI-generated worlds that are both persistent and consistent over long periods.
But even with those limitations,
Yeah.
it's incredible what Genie 2
Yeah.
can already do.
Oh, absolutely.
We've seen examples of it generating complex physics,
Right.
character animations, even realistic lighting effects.
It's remarkable.
That's pretty remarkable.
For an AI that's essentially winging it.
Yeah, it's making it up as it goes.
And it's not just about creating visuals.
Yeah.
The fact that Genie 2 can generate these worlds from different perspectives, first person, third person, even isometric,
right,
suggests a deeper understanding of how spaces and perspectives work.
It's like, it's not just creating a picture.
Right.
It's understanding the actual 3D space.
It is.
And how objects relate to each other
Yeah.
within that space.
It really points to the potential for AI to not just mimic human creativity, but to go beyond it.
Well.
To explore and create in ways we might not even be able to imagine.
Okay.
Imagine an AI that could build entire narratives.
Okay.
Not just visually, but across multiple senses.
Whoa, hold on. You're talking about AI.
Yeah.
That could create experiences that engage all of our senses.
I am.
What would that even be like?
Well, we're already seeing AI generate music, write stories, even recreate smells.
Wow.
It's not a far leap to imagine those capabilities coming together to create incredibly immersive experiences that go way beyond what we think of as entertainment today.
Okay. That's pretty mind-blowing stuff.
Yeah.
But before we jump too far ahead.
Sure.
Let's bring it back to something you mentioned earlier.
Right.
The impact of all this on jobs.
Okay.
It's a concern.
Yeah.
It comes up a lot when we talk about AI.
It's a valid concern.
Yeah.
And it's important to address it thoughtfully.
Yeah.
There will undoubtedly be disruptions in the job market.
Right.
As AI gets better at tasks that humans currently do, but that's not a new phenomenon.
Right. Well, we've seen this throughout history.
We have.
The Industrial Revolution, the rise of computers, the internet, they all shifted.
They all shifted the types of jobs people did.
Right.
And with those shifts came new opportunities.
Yeah.
I think the same will be true with AI.
Okay.
Some jobs will be automated.
Sure.
But new ones will emerge in areas like AI development implementation and oversight. And we'll need people who can bridge the gap between humans and AI, ensuring that these technologies are used responsibly and ethically.
So it sounds like the key for both individuals and for society is adaptability.
It is.
We need to be lifelong learners.
Yes.
Ready to pick up new skills as the world changes around us.
Absolutely. And it's not just technical skills. It's about fostering critical thinking, problem-solving creativity.
Okay.
The kinds of skills that will be essential in a future shaped by AI.
It's interesting, you know, hearing you talk about AI creating these worlds, it makes me think about all those sci-fi stories we grew up with.
Right.
You know, the holodeck from Star Trek.
Yeah.
The Matrix, Ready Player One.
Yeah. Yeah.
It feels like we're getting closer to that kind of immersive virtual reality.
What's really fascinating is that Genie 2 isn't limited to recreating the world we know.
Oh, wow.
It has the potential to build entirely new worlds.
Okay.
Places that could never exist in reality.
Right.
Imagine a world where gravity works in reverse.
Or where objects can change shape at will.
That would be wild.
Right.
Like stepping into a surrealist painting.
Yeah.
But wouldn't it be hard?
It would?
To wrap our heads around a world with totally different rules?
Well,
our brains are kind of used to things working a certain way.
It's true that our brains are wired for our current reality.
Right.
But they're also incredibly adaptable.
Okay.
Think about how quickly we adjust to playing video games. Even ones with fantastical elements.
Right.
We learn the rules, we figure out how to navigate those worlds, and we get completely immersed in the experience.
That's a good point. Our brains are always learning and making new connections.
They are.
So even if these AI-generated worlds are totally different, we could still learn to experience and understand them.
I think so. It might be a challenge at first, but over time, our brains would likely adapt and create new mental models for these novel environments.
Interesting.
It's a fascinating area of exploration.
Not just of physical spaces, but of how our minds perceive and interact with reality itself.
It really makes you think about what it means to experience something.
It does.
You know, if we can create these incredibly realistic simulations, how do we even define what's real anymore?
That's a big question, and it's one we're going to have to grapple with more and more as AI technology advances.
Of course.
But I think it's important to focus on the present as well. We've talked about jobs, but there are so many other areas of life that AI could impact.
Absolutely. How we learn, how we create art, how we solve problems.
Exactly.
AI has the potential to revolutionize all of these things.
And that's where the human element comes in.
Right.
We need to be thoughtful about how we develop and use these tools.
Yeah.
Ensuring that they align with our values and goals as a society.
That's such a crucial point. AI is a powerful tool.
It is.
And like any tool, it can be used for good or for ill.
That's right.
It all comes down to the intentions and values of the people who create and use it.
Exactly. It's up to all of us to stay informed, to engage in these conversations, and to advocate for the responsible and ethical development of AI.
This has been a really incredible deep dive.
It has.
I think we've covered so much ground, from the technical marvels of Genie 2 to the broader philosophical implications of AI-generated worlds.
Yeah.
I really hope our listeners are walking away with a sense of both the incredible potential and the important considerations surrounding this technology.
I hope so, too. It's been a pleasure exploring this with you.
Likewise.
Genie 2 is a remarkable achievement, and it's just a glimpse of what's to come in the world of AI.
Right.
It's a rapidly evolving field, and we'll be here to break it all down for you as it unfolds.
Couldn't have said it better myself. And for our listeners who are eager to learn more about the technical side of things, remember to check out my YouTube channel, Ian Ochieng AI.
Good idea.
For tutorials, insights, and more deep dives into the world of AI.
The future of AI is being shaped right now.
It is.
And it's a conversation we all need to be part of.
Absolutely.
Thanks for joining us on this journey, and we'll catch you on the next deep dive.
Sounds good.